Hey, and welcome to the third year of Stormclan. There's a lot of cats have found the thing they have been wanting to wear as gift or other things. There's also a few newcomers into the clan this year, and there's also a lot of crashes that has begun blooming among some of the cats, which can lead to something interesting next year or the years after. But let's not dwindle on that at the moment right now, as we move into StarClan. Starting with the only death this year, that's Rhy-stripe. Stormclan seemingly does not have a great luck with apprentices or young cats. Rhy-stripe and the other apprentices got wrangled up to sneak out and explore the territory, just running around and having fun together. Rhy-stripe, being the cat that he is, decided to jump out on some rocks that was lining the path they took. The other laughing and half-heartedly asking him to be careful until the rocks beneath his paw disappeared under him and he lost his footing. Warning for a picture depicting dead and ghost cats. I will tell you if you don't want to see that. I will tell you when the picture's off the screen. He tumbled down the hill, dragging more and more rocks with him, and the last thing he heard before everything went dark was the other screaming. Before he knew it, he was standing on top of a pile of rock, and a brown fur starry pelt apprentice stood in front of him. The picture is off screen now. He has been having fun in StarClan with Brownpaw, the two of them becoming quickly friends. Darkpaw getting him to sneak close to the dark forest border, both young cats being a tiny bit intrigued by what might be lurking there, even though they know they shouldn't tread into it. When he was alive, he did stumble into a creek one time, which he was not that happy by, and he had to bite down his pride as he asked Amberfreckle for advice on passing an assignment. Lately in StarClan, he has been thinking on a message to send, since he is worried about the clan. Seeing as one of his dads has been looking for a cat beyond the clan borders, and a cold newcomer in the nursery, he has some reason to be worried. I realized when I finished the speed paint of him that the perspective is a bit whacked, and don't worry, I fixed it in the actual photo. His front paw should be that long. Moving on to Living Cat, and to point us the obvious, Brookall finally got the girl. Enjoy my silly little drawing of them. Wormstar has spent most of the year up in her head, often being seen staring off into space or daydreaming. She has probably reflected on her life in her older days, since she is pretty old at this time, or getting pretty old. Probably feeling her old age, after feeling really out of it after getting heat exhaustion, and feeling a bit more ill through the whole year. Taking a bit longer to heal after she saved Lavender Patch from a hawk. She has been hoping on a sign from StarClan, questioning her ability to lead. She does have a soft spot for the kids and apprentice, helping out lightly cover for Rosie's kit, and giving advice to the apprentices. Hopefully Brookall can help her get her mind out of that state. And moving on to Brookall, the boy finally had a better year. He started the year being a bit jealous and bitter, leaning on Amberfreckle a lot, who he sees as one of his closest friends, and getting in a heated argument with some of the newcomers. He did have an exciting hunt though, managing to get an eagle to give up its prey together with Gentle, and itching to do something exciting after. He did find a badger den with Gentle, which they decided, instead of saying anything to the leader, they were just gonna kick rocks into it, and immediately fled when the badger woke up. He have had continued bad luck with his tail getting badly injured, this time by a dog, and the end of the year it was badly injured by a fox. So I'm drawing his tail a bit more crooked. His love luck began to go upward when he helped Wormstar work through something difficult she went through, and having a bit of a questionable prompt after. He did catch wind of what Wormstar thought about mates, the same moon that he confessed, and another cute detail with it, that he asked Lockmuscle for advice. Moving on to that side cat, Lockmuscle and Tawnypool has actually managed to kindle a relationship. Their hate for each other completely gone. Yet has his silly moment, betting at his own tail and feeling content through the moons. He has actually shared prey with Rhy-stripe, the alien boon, before he and Tawnypool got on good terms together, which he may or may not have done to just be petty against his mate. He did go to Jagged Clan camp to warn them of a badger he and his patrol saw making a den on their territory, smoothly talking through the hisses and managed to show that he had good intention. He got an apprentice, but he couldn't enjoy training her some of the moon after his son died, making him bargain desperately with StarClan. begging him to please send his son back, and waking up on the wrong side of the nest moons after. He was being quite grumpy when another warrior believed they had a vision from Stormclan, since why would Stormclan talk to them and not give him answer about his son? When coming over his grief, he has helped Clan apprentice back to the territory, and giving advice to Brokol, as I mentioned, but also to the newcomers to help them fit better into the clan. Chronipus actually started the year by doing something nice to Crystal Bright, which is weird since he has been butting head with Rhy-stripe and her kids for moons now, but the moment one of Rhy-stripe's kids are the mentor of one of his kids, he is suddenly okay with him. He has tried to set a good example for his kids, but in his own way with his bossy and strict personality, serving the camp scornfully from a high vantage point and make sure everyone only take one piece of fresh kill and no more. Lecturing about the code to any cats who would listen, which was probably only some of the newcomers. The Alone that was being hunted by a dog, by leading the dog away from it, and also prancing around his mate and being quite lucky on hunting patrol. He did miss the warmth that the Roarpaw brought to his life, and showing dislikes on all of Rosie's kids. And another fun fact, he has at least one dislike on 8 different cats. At the end of the year, Twanipool did looter around Moorclan border looking for a specific cat, and I'm a bit worried about the reason why. Blossomember had been scolded a bit through the year, both by kids and warriors. She even got into a heated argument with Egg. Her mind has been even more scattered, stressing about finding herbs and struggling to find the right one she needed. But when she did find what she needed, she felt the weight of responsibility lift, and for a small moment, feeling relief and peace. She's been stressing a lot, even making herself ill at times. She's appreciating how Rosie always asks how she's doing, but she still feels like they need more paws to help. It seems like the fellow medicine cats help calm her a lot, inside and outside the clan, since she always looked forward to every half-moon meeting. Her clumsiness catches up there as she has been tripping over a lot of things, and she has been congratulating the apprentices for jobs well done. When out looking for herbs with Egg and Rosie, she thought it heard a weird sound. Following it, she found a queen and her newborn kit. The cat quickly helping the queen and kids back to camp. Egg has seemingly become more grumpy this year. She has seen having herbs stuck in her pelt all the time, which makes sense. Which makes sense seeing how often she's sorting through the medicine cat then. Sometimes managing to make a mess and panicking, and that doesn't mean she won't lay down and relax. Playing with some windswept cat mint and sunbathing with Rosie instead of actually doing her job. Her grumpiness didn't come out until a storm had swept through the area, making her job harder. Since the storm has been uprooting and thrown around some of the herb she desperately needed, and the prey was hiding. And on top of her complaint, she got fleas. It was around this period she blamed Blossom Rumble for distracting her when looking for proper herb spots that wasn't destroyed, and they got in quite a huge argument. She seemed to often have the foul taste of bitter herbs in the mouth, and until the storm were over, she woke up on the wrong side of the nest. And she has been trying to tell Mudback not to overwork himself, and is getting pretty annoyed to see the young cat. in the medicine cat den. Rosie is the sunshine of the medicine cat den. He did disappear a few days, only to come back with a rainbow color. He did get a warning from Stormclan about rumbling rocks, and not long after Roarpaw died, and he feels a bit guilty he didn't catch on sooner, and warned the cats about playing or being around the rocks. He's a great dad, being a great friend to all of his kids, and all of them being goofballs together, purring loudly when his kids became warriors. Rosie has had some luck in love, seeing as he and Droplet Growl has been flirting a lot. The two spending a lot of time together doing things like sunbathing. Another cat did confess their feeling to him, which he turned down the nicest way he could. Rosie has been busy and excitedly learning the apprentices and youngest cat about basic herbs, and mostly just checking into the other cat. He looks up to Egg, being happy she's a medicine cat with him, and is always wondering if she has gotten a sign from Stormclan. When he's not dragging Droplet Growl with him, he sticks pretty close to Egg. First of the new faces, it's Brindlekite. She technically have kids in the nursery, but they are both 5 months old and will soon be apprentices, so I put her here with the warriors. Brindlekite was the queen that Blossom Rumble found right after she had given birth. It was a bit confusing for me, since my dyslexia didn't see the E at the end of her name, and I was wondering where the mom was, as I read 3 kids, and nowhere else it said that the mom was dead. She spent the first moon getting used to camp and healing from her birth, rarely talking with her new clanmates. The first thing she did when healed was watching the fish in the nearby river. She flatly insulted another clanmate's appearance, and judging by her dislike, it was Rhy-stripe, the only cat she had dislike on and was jealous of. She's making Twentypool proud by hating my poor girl, I swear. And I feel if she and Twentypool becomes friends, I'm getting scared by their power. Brindlekite does believe weakness should be punished, not nurtured, and she's making her statement pretty loud. She's been wondering how her old clan is doing. She was pretty unhappy in her old life and probably made a dumb mistake by falling in love with a cat outside of clan, who turned his back on her after she became pregnant. Seeing she was so unhappy in clan, and having half clan or lonely kids, she left clan in the middle of the night. Not wanting an unsure life for herself and the kids, she decided to stay in Stormclan, refusing to go on patrol near her old clan, and judging from the name of her kids, she from Jagged Clan. Rhy-stripe still hold the title as the most troublesome clan cat, and having Daisy-Paw as an apprentice did not help. The two of them pranking each other and heckling another clan together during a gathering. As previously mentioned, she has been sharing prey with Larkmasol, and is even crushing on him a tiny bit, which can lead to disaster. But her eyes has also fallen over on Gentle, their friendship blossoming into a crush on Rhy-stripe's side. She's been giving out quite some helpful advice to her fellow clanmates, and asks for help and advice from them when needed. The younger cats often turning to her for advice, playfully sparring with clanmates and joking with them until she almost choked on her prey. Moving up, we have another new face, which is Pranstrip. Pranstrip was abandoned by her true leg when she got sick. Rhy-stripe and Brookall finding her, yelling after her true legs to please come back. She mostly stared into space when healing, and she hasn't done much since getting better. Mostly sunbathing and feeling quite lazy. She is a senior adult, but that hasn't stopped her from showing off her incredible running skill while hunting. One of the kids in the nursery said her real parents were rogues, taking no offense to the kids trying to mock her. Gentle is proving her place in the clan moon after moon. She and Brookall driving an eagle from its prey, often sparing with clanmates, and getting compliments on her fighting techniques. She even got some nettle from Blossom Rumble that she decided to wear. Beginning to opening up more to the she-cat, even getting comfortable enough to know Blossom Rumble's secret of how she feels about being a medicine cat. Other than Blossom Rumble, she has become more close with Rhy-stripe, but it's none the wiser of her friend's crush on her. She has helped out with the Apprentices even though she doesn't have one herself, taking up and helping with training when the mentors weren't feeling bad of injuries and other means. You often have the Apprentices in a very engaging story, hoping she will get an apprentice again soon. Joker was saved by Twentypool and then known as Quailpaw and Wingpaw, after being chased by a dog, who being awed by their bravery wanted to join the clan. He has spent late nights stressing over possible disaster, and in his history said something terrible made him leave his old house behind. So some type of natural disaster or just something general happening to the house, maybe like a flooding or fire, made him run away. He was a cat Brookall had a heated argument together with, but other than that he has been getting advice from Larkmuscle and Gentle about clan life and how to fit in. In the last moon he was on patrol when he heard screaming from a nearby lake, and he got his head damaged while trying to save a drowning cat, but ended up being saved himself when a log hit him in the water, not making him able to save the cat. So he is a bit down at the end of the year. Droplet Growl, as mentioned previously, has been flirting with the medicine cat, brushing against him while correcting the stance before looking away with the purr. The two of them training together after Rosie mentioned he wanted to be able to defend himself, his kids, and the clan. So she seemed closer to one of their dream about having a mate and kids, but also the other one, since she has gotten an apprentice this year, watching with pride as they got their name and needing a friendly nudge to step forward. Still quite lonesome, she has been going out on hunt by herself, and feeling a bit down at times. Sneaking out once to play around in the flowers without anyone noticing, but ending up stepping on a bee and getting a swallowing paw. She did need saving for an apprentice once at the board of skirmish, and actually having to fight in quite a lot of skirmishes in this year. Even getting caught in a snowstorm with Crestelbright and a younger cat, but luckily everyone managed to get out alive. She has quite keen eyes, spotting deathberries on patrol and warning the others, and working herself to get a bed-ridding headache. Cresselbright started the year being caught off guard by Tronipool doing something nice for him. Still being a nervous boy, he did get spooked by a mouse while hunting. Being a bit paranoid and extra nervous when he had a heat stroke. He has been staring into space a lot since he has begun to crash on Mudback, wondering if he will ever feel the same way he do. And he could spend hours listening to Mudback's voice. He even acted bravely on patrol with Mudback, despite his anxieties. There is another cat he's been crashing on as well, and they do like him back, so he feels a bit torn. And that's the reason he's been staring into space a lot, having quite a bit of panic in what he should do with his love life. He had a cute training session with his sister, helping him take his mind off things and relax a little. And has a bit more understanding on his previous apprentice, when he just started venting to the nervous cat. Despite adopting the then known as Winkit and Downikit, Lavender Patch does not have any built relationship with them. She is also another cat that helped train apprentices despite not having one herself. And she is the first one to rise in the morning, and is often planning to go early to sleep. She thinks Larkmuzzle is doing a great job at deputy, and has been wanting to become the deputy herself. She did misread into Rosie's niceness toward her, wondering if she was special, quickly confessing her feeling to him and getting equally as quickly turned down. She apparently has bad fighting techniques with how many cats has wanting to critique them, and seemed to fumble as much as her brother after deeply apologizing for a mistake she made. And as I mentioned earlier, she got saved by Wormstar from getting attacked from a hunt. She still have connection with her old friend from outside the clan with how many prompts she get as she was seen talking calmly to a loner. Mudback has had a more mischievous side to him this year, pranking a lot of his clanmates. His father being the one he has been pranking the most, seemingly wanting to get some frustration and a bit of hatred out on him, until he and Amber Freckle sat down and talked together, getting a deeper understanding of each other and he actually stopped his pranking after that talk. Other than that, he has been showing off his skills. He can apparently fish, showing off to Rhy-stripe and an apprentice. And speaking of apprentices, he also got to train one this year. He has been predicting the weather by observing the sky and the behavior of prey, and even stopped a hunting patrol to catch a rat near some human crow food, saying that if it's feeding on it, it can carry diseases. He still overworked himself so much that Egg has to tell him multiple times to try and relax. And he has seemingly catch the eye of two other cats who have begun crashing on him. Other than that, he has been wondering how Stormclan could grant a cat as cold as and caring as Wormstar 9 lives. Longtalon continued to be wild through his apprenticehood, climbing a tree and falling down from it, but luckily only getting bruises. He wanted to be a fierce warrior someday, and proclaimed his unwavering loyalty to his mentor, Cresselbright. He felt like his world was shattered when his brother died, but he used it to fuel his ambition. He had to be a warrior for both of them now. Even having a dream the month after and desperately asking Blossom Rumble about it, in case it was a message from his brother from Stormclan. As a warrior, he has been acting out more, playing prank on Tronipool and envies the deputy position. He was quite proud when he got his name. That's a name honoring his drive. And he has showed off a lot trying to be noticed, capturing the most prey on multiple hunting trip and evaluating how he's going to sharpen his battle skills. He is the other cat crushing on Mudback, catching feeling after Mudback stumbled while hunting, and he thought it was cute. And he actually had begun to have some dislike on his former mentor, which make it interesting that the two of them are crushing on the same cat, which may be where the hate is coming from. Lightchase started the year by coming out as non-binary. Love that from them. They also got Forget-Me-Not from the sister and decided to wear them. They were a bit over their head as an apprentice, as they were pretty sure they were gonna be made a warrior soon. At 7 moons old. They spent the rest of their apprenticeship rolling around in the sun and learning how to hunt with their siblings, even falling back on their training and having Amber Freckle help them out. The warrior name honoring their energy, Droplet Growl influencing them to make impulsive decisions and breaking away from the status quo, and I find it fun since they grew up to be strange. And immediately after becoming a warrior, they got an apprentice, and is training the only apprentice in the clan at the moment. They have some really silly ideas. Getting a hunting patrol to roll around in garlic to help hide their scent, which actually worked, but it left a funny taste in their mouth as they tried to wash it off. They have also been swooning out a lot. Quiet Shadow's paw has been twitching to explore, sneaking out to the nearby tourist place to explore in his apprentice days, and later wishing he could be chosen to go on a quest by Wormstar. His adventurous side did lead to disaster when he recruited other apprentices his age for a quick adventure, leading to the death of Warpaw. He couldn't move as the cat around him rushed down to help, It wasn't before Daisy Paw yelled at him to go get the warrior, he was brought back to the moment and rushed off to get help. The incident still haunting him. He did find an abandoned kit whose parents were nowhere to be found on his adventure, hurrying back to Clan with that said kit. As a warrior, he helped to escort the medicine cat to get a herb, which is kinda cute that he just wanted to help his dad. He seemed to want excitement, as he was jealous that Droplet Crawl got to fight in a border skirmish. Later he did get to fight in the skirmish, saving the only apprentice from an enemy warrior. Daisy Fade was trading very hard toward the end of her apprenticeship. She has been caught humming to herself as she's working or just relaxing in camp, chattering at the birds from the trees above. And as I mentioned, she and Rhy-stripe just being chaotic together and bringing a lot of pranking and mischief into the clan. Her warrior name is honoring her spirit, as it seems like it will lead her through anything. And Rhy-stripe did influence her to be more likely to bend the rule and adapt easily, which can lead to disaster. She did accidentally send a small dog into a fit of excitement instead of driving it off, and has been caught by a more clan warrior after she caught a rabbit on their side of the territory. She is the other cat that has been crushing on Cresselbright, who as I mentioned had a small crush on her back, so I'm really interested in how this ends. Donipelt has become quite a ditzy and playful cat, practicing bird calls as a kit and chattering with Rosie about what it's like to be a medicine cat. Her mentor was Lark Muscle, and she couldn't take him, nor her first training session seriously, wandering off and being gone for a few days before returning with a green bow around her neck. She hasn't been a fan of her apprentice duties, often dreading it, being quite happy when all that was over when she got her warrior name, and being honored by her good nature. She's often seen grooming her pelt for a considerable amount of time, and it's usually the first thing she does when her duties are done. When she's dragged out of camp on doing her warrior duties, she seemed to have a bad luck, since she was stuck in a snowstorm, and she couldn't stop shivering, even after she was back at camp in her warm nest, complaining about this is what happened when she actually goes outside. She is crushing along Talon and Quail Shadow, and it seems like she quite liked around the clan. Wingsong was quite helpful as a kit, always wanting to help with any small things that the other cats were doing. She was apprentice under Mudbag, however, she has no relationship with him. He doesn't even show up on her likes and dislikes. While hunting, Gentle tried to learn her and Quailpaw to hunt, quizzing them about the best strategy to catch a Trustin. Wingpaw just rolled her eyes and wondered why she needed quizzes and couldn't just catch the bird. And when she tried her method, she ruined the catch for Quailpaw. She did order her sister around a bit and felt quite disappointed when she failed her task. Surprisingly, she managed to save Droplet Roll from an enemy warrior, and fittingly, her warrior name is honoring her boldness. I find it a bit funny that Wingsong and Donipel seems like quite the opposite. Whereas Donnie wants to barely work, seemingly getting easy crushes and making sure her pelt are shining, Wingsong seems to give it her all, bragging about how much prey she can catch and not liking anyone in clan except her sister. I am not kidding, this girl has dislike on 7 different cats. Not really getting it and is really confused when Donipel keep gushing about a warrior either from clan or outside. Spotpaw is a kit that was found by the then known as Quailpaw, after he went out exploring and suddenly found a seemingly lost kit, seemingly being abandoned by his parents or maybe a two-leg. As a kid, he was mostly running around and pestering other cats to play with him, seemingly being lonely as the cat in the nursery at the time. No one adopted him, so he was raised by the clan, being mentored under Larkchase, even though he only likes Quail Shadow. He did argue with his mentor when they tried to have a training session, Larkchase being amused by the audacity of this young cat. He actually thinks Wingsong is stuck up and rude, which is funny since he is the one usually starting arguments around camp. On hunting patrol, he has either been startled by squirrels, or asked if he can chase pretty bugs instead of prey. Amber Freckle has decided to retire, noticing that he has been slowing down a lot lately. Him and Rhy-stripe seem to have kindled their relationship after one star got him to punish her, giving advice to each other and Rhy-stripe letting him share his trouble with her. He helped the apprentices a lot by giving them advice and training with them where they were falling behind. Being the big sweetheart he is, he has been surprising clanmates with gifts and taking them out to beautiful spots in the territory, just for fun. Being the main shoulder to lean on, and the first one most cats goes to for advice as usual. He's been napping a lot in the eldest den, lazing around and recalling memory from the old clan before they go washed away. He was really happy to get a better understanding of his son, realizing they have a lot more in common and talking more openly about his mother. Cavern Kit and her sister are the kids of Brindlekite. She and her sister being raised from birth in the clan, and had no idea about their roots in their old clan. Cavern Kit quickly showed up her big personality, whining and pestering the other cats, rolling on the ground in the middle of camp to try and block the path of other cats. She called Blossom Rumble stinky, and got in a huge argument with Joker when he called her out, which probably ended with her just screaming instead of just talking normally to him. Criverkit is the calmest of the two sisters, usually jumping around in excitement around camp and the nursery. She kept asking Cat to repeat himself and talking louder than all the other cats, until it was clear that her hearing is weak and unreliable, her being 50% deaf in both ears. She has some affinity for the medicine cats, asking questions to Egg about Stormclan, and if Stormclan are giving her or any of the other medicine cats any prophecies, and often hiding in the medicine cat den when her sister is too much for her. Cavernkit and Criverkit does actually has a tiny bit of dislike on each other. And that rounds up year 3. A lot of potential mates have been popping up, and I'm interested to see where this goes. I have gotten a bit into year 4, and there are also interesting things already popping up, so that might turn into quite an interesting year. So I will try my best to finish the script and speed paint so I can get it up for you guys. So until next time, bye bye!